right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, joined in studio today by Randy Angston.
Hello. Randy, it always cracks me up, man. Every time we like,
I gotta change it up, dude.
I don't know what to expect.
I gotta just make it up as I go.
You know what's funny? I don't remember who it was. It might have been Taylor Hutchinson. Somebody at the Grow Summit came up to me and they were like, I was trying to come up with something unique to say for like the old podcasts. We went like 200 episodes with all the different nicknames and stuff.
Yeah, the pastor of passion, the minister of mindset.
It was as hard as coming up with topics to talk about.
With ChatGPT, we could nail it now.
Now we'd be
Before, it was coming off the top of the dome. Top of the dome.
Top of the dome.
All right, great episode for you guys today. Here's the deal. What we speak about on this show, business, our coaching stuff is really universal, if we're being honest. I have a buddy that's a family law attorney in Texas, and he texts me all the time. He's like, dude, that episode where you talked about this is exactly what I'm going through, and this is how we're doing it. And I'm currently coaching another business industry, somebody in another industry, and I've coached for other ones as well in the past, here and there. And I know you've spoken across so many of your friends that own businesses and stuff, and they get the value out of it. Because here's the deal, just because we're in the fitness industry doesn't mean that these principles are not universal.
Correct.
You need to market, you need to have a staff development, you need to have systems, you need to have automation, lead flow, all of that. And it doesn't matter the business.
Correct.
And it's funny because it's like one of our good friends, Chef Dave, I try to help him all the time. And he's like, my business is different.
Yeah.
My business is different. And it's a mindset thing because, again, it works for these five other industries, but it won't work for you. Why? Because your business is different. And a lot of times you're so close. You're an operator inside the four walls of your operation. You're in the grind, you're in the suck, in the slog, right? And you just can't see from the outside where somebody like myself or you could come in and be like, this is the solution right here. But there's so many gym owners aside, there's so many business owners that will come up with a problem for every solution. And there's a solution right in front of them, but they're going to come up with a reason why it won't work without trying it. And usually it's my clients won't, or it's, it doesn't work that way for us in this industry or whatever it is.
Or even within the fitness industry. I mean, I talk with plenty of gym owners and the initial reaction is, well, it's almost like my business is different, but when you start to get in there, it's nothing beyond their emotional attachment to their business. Oh, well, Tim and Randy, you guys don't know, my business is, this is how it happens in my business.
Or you can charge that in your neighborhood or in your town, but not in my place. But okay, so here's a great example. So at the Growth Summit, we had Dan Waymera from Push Press talk about the outliers, because he's got all the data of all the gyms and what their recurring revenue is, and he has this one little dot way over to the right. It's like way out there.
Way out there, yep.
And what was cool about that gym was it was in like some small town in Kansas that I've never heard of, you never heard of. And it, you've heard of Lawrence, Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas. But this wasn't one of those three.
It's tiny.
I apologize if you're from Kansas. I don't know of any other cities in
Not many.
Do you?
No.
Okay, well, it wasn't one of those three, and it was out in the middle of nowhere, and the guy was doing over 1.16, 1.7 or something like that. And so my clients won't, my town won't. You can charge that in your affluent neighborhood, but not us.
Well, and I think there's a lot to be said of the fact that when we decided to start teaching systems, we're not a franchise model, right? Like gym owners that come to us, yes, we have our beliefs on what model gives you the greatest opportunity for success, right? We've put our flag in that semi-private is the deliverable that we believe is going to lead you as the gym owner to the greatest opportunity. It's kind of the sweet spot, right? We've put our flag in the ground, but that doesn't mean that we only work with semi-private gyms, right? We've got large group training facilities, general access facilities, one-on-one facilities. The systems that we teach translate across all of those deliverables, no problem, right? Mm-hmm. You need a market, like you said. You need what is your offer to your marketplace? What is bringing somebody closer to you, right? You need a sales process. Once you have the ability to have a consultation, what does that look like? Let's refine those. When it comes to the delivery, even delivering the service or the I guess it's a service in our industry, right? The service that you provide, just because you're doing a different deliverable on a solution for fitness doesn't mean that the systems around delivering that are any different, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to clean your equipment. You need to have well-designed programming. Your staff needs to know what they need to do. All of those the delivery components, they're systems of a business. They're not structured to the way where it's like this or nothing. You know what I mean? And that's the point, right? Like they translate well beyond the four walls of just a gym, well beyond the industry of fitness, but yet gym owners quite often will decide to do nothing or, find the level of resistance around a solution because they feel something is different. They feel that their business is different. Nobody knows my business like me. Well, that might be true until you give somebody the opportunity to have a objective set of eyes looking at your business. You know what I mean? So don't let those types of, I guess, that mindset, restrict you from what else is out there. Learn from the people that are doing it successfully.
Right.
Emulate from the success of others in those realms.
There's people out there winning.
Yeah.
And so you got to take a step back sometimes in your business and look at your numbers. I mean, I think the numbers are like basically the report card.
Yep.
Is what I'm doing working or not? Yes, you can have a lower gross revenue and a higher net profit. All that aside, what's the owner benefit? Like that's the scorecard. If you're not paying yourself, if you're barely making a profit or no profit at all, what you're doing isn't working. Maybe you're brand new. Okay, I'll give you that. You still got time to grow. But if you've been in business 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years and you're still not making a profit, you're not really paying yourself much, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so I had this conversation with Tom Plummer when we were going over the state of the industry and the numbers and what the gym owner benefit was and all this stuff. And, and kudos to the companies out there creating these reports and giving us the data. But like, he had his point was like, hey, in some towns in Alabama, Arkansas, it doesn't matter. Like you can live okay and still do what you love. And I agree. Like if you do what you love, fantastic, but I think you can make more money doing what you love.
Absolutely, and you should want.
And then when
to.
you make more money doing what you love, that's like the holy grail.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling like I'm really working, and I'm making a lot of money for it. And it's like win-win. So like make the win-win happen. And so a lot of times it's the model. A lot of times even in the model you're at, you're way undercharging, or you're overpaying coaches. That's another one I see a lot. The margins are blown out.
Oh yeah.
And yes, I get it. You want to take care of your coaches, yeah, but if the business doesn't make any money, like you can't just pay your coaches and you not make anything. Like
Correct.
It's got to go around, right? It's usually here between your ears is the problem. And one of my big kind of takeaways from my first talk is like the shiny ball and the emotional decisions. And like you said, yes, this is an emotional business for a lot of reasons. One, you make relationships with your clients and coaches. And you put your heart, your blood, sweat, and tears into creating this thing out of zero. I did it, and I had 0 clients. Like I started way further behind the line than most of you guys. When you start with a gym, when you're taking, you stole 15, 20 clients from another gym, starting with that at least. I didn't have any of that. And the point of it is, it's usually like, hey, I've gone down this road too far. I can't change now. I can't go back and start over. Well, I saw a great quote. It's like, you're not too old to start over. You're too old to keep doing what you've been doing for so long and have it not work.
There you go.
That was a great quote, right? I'll throw that right in here, a little nug for you. But that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. You got to make changes, y'all.
And that's the thing is like being a business owner is navigating uncharted waters, right? You just because you started that business does not mean that business, no matter what, has the legs to get you to where you think the business can go. So the model, and like when you are faced with hard decisions to make changes in the business, whatever changes they may be, you have to think about the greatest outcome for the business first, not just, oh, my clients won't do that, or because all of that's noise, right? When others are successfully making those changes and it's happening daily with all of these other people doing these things, you need to get out of your own way, and you need to start making the decisions that are going to impact the greater future of your business, period.
Let's go.
Yeah, right? And the thing, and it's tough. I mean, we get it. We know that you're emotionally tied to it. But the worst part is right now it's like choosing your heart, right? It's going to be hard to make the change for sure. But it's really hard going to work every single day, not being able to pay yourself, trying to figure out where the next sale is coming from so you can pay your bills this month. Like running that type of business where you're jumping from offer to offer, you're grasping at straws when it comes to getting new clients through the door. You're operating every single day out of desperation, as opposed to having something that you can literally walk into your four walls and know it operates like a well-oiled machine. It's paying you. It's paying your team well. You've got a plan for how you acquire clients, not just this month, but every single month. Yep. You've got systems that are handling the nurtures, the delivery, all of it. When that's dialed in, tell me that difficult transition wasn't worth
every cent.
Exactly.
So that the person that's struggling right now it feels like all the shit's coming in and it's closing in on you. I know this feeling, by the way. It's just like you can't. It's very hard for you to step out and be like, okay, here's what I need to do, because you're making these emotional decisions. But you need to realize that's what's happening. That's the thing, is recognizing, okay, this sucks, and if I don't make the change, this thing's gonna collapse on me. That has to be bigger than not being able to make the decision. You have to be able to step out.
Once you don't repair a car while driving it, right? Like that resonates.
Yeah, all of these things make sense, but I remember this feeling this way back in the day, where it's like you have to do it, and you just have to. Here's the okay, I know exactly how you make this decision. You have to be so confident in yourself that even if you do these changes and it falls apart, you can get it all back in a year.
There's a solution for that. Yeah, exactly.
That's what allowed me to scrap my model in the first 10 months of opening the business with 100% debt. Like, you know, on all the equipment and throwing that stuff in a garage or in a storage unit. It's because I knew that I was going to win somehow. I didn't know how. I knew I was going to, because I had confidence in yourself, because you can outwork the problem.
Yep.
You can source a solution. You're smart enough to navigate that. You may not know the answer, but you can source the solution. That's where my head was at. And you just, I had to realize we're just going to collapse if I don't change. I got 6 months max if I don't change it now. And so, like, you got to have that conversation with yourself. You got to be able to see it and make the pivot, guys, to do it now, or else 6 months from now you're either closed, or you're worse off, or you're in this, even worse, you're in the same friggin' place.
And I think that's a lot of it. I mean, when we made the transition from agency to systems-based coaching, I mean, I use the example. I mean, I share the story quite often with people I'm on the phone with. We made that choice because 3-4 years into running leads and generating sales trials for these gyms, 500 paid trials have gone through their business.
System, yeah.
3 years deep, they're the dollar for dollar the same situation, same month over revenue that they were doing 3 years prior.
Oh yeah.
Right? And if the business isn't growing month over, let alone 3 years deep, it's probably not a lead generation problem, guys. And so that's what, like, we doubled down on the systems that carried the weight of the business. We took Tim out of the daily operations of this business. What are the systems that allow that to happen? And if you know, the gym owners that embrace that opportunity, that join our coaching program or start to structure their business a little bit differently, they see that same level of success. And for us, I mean, it becomes a wash, rinse, repeat, because we've taken so many gym owners down this. But that's the solution that you as a gym owner you have that as an option for you. But if you find yourself going back, this is where I was going with it, is like, the awareness is one thing, right? You have to decide, okay, this isn't working, I need to do something else. But then if you find yourself going back to work the next day and you're just putting out fires, you're on the training floor, you're delivering, and then at 7 p.m. you go home and you're like, well, I didn't make that change today. You got to start doing some of these small little changes in a timely fashion. Like, one of our new Iron Circle clients is transitioning this to semi-private. They want to bring semi-private in the gym. And when they threw out the question of how long, you know, can that transition take, it was like a 2-year game plan
for them.
And I was like, whoa. This is something that we should knock off in like 2 months, not 2 years.
Yeah, depends, right?
And so it goes back to kind of a Parkinson's law type of thing, right? Your resources are going to grow to expand. to meet what you allow it to, right? So if you give yourself 2 years to do it, it's going to take you 2 years. If you made that same decision in 8 weeks, we have to make this thing happen, you're going to do it in 8 weeks. The point of that is once you make the decision, or once you have the realization that what you're doing isn't working, if you don't start applying a different action, a different solution, you're going to be in the same exact point month over, year over, but you have to make a different choice, and it's got to be shown in your actions.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like the realization is one thing, but go take a different action today.
Right. And here we are, we're in the final quarter of 24. Okay. You can spend the next 3 months and attack this problem and make 2025 your best year of all time. Or you could be in October 2025 and be in the same place.
And and we're not saying this because this isn't us, guessing or assuming. We have great gyms working with us. There are phenomenal gyms that enter our iron circle, and they're still doubling and tripling their business. I mean, These are businesses that are doing very well, double, triple the average that most gym owners are doing already, and they still have the potential to double and triple their businesses. That's looking at your business with is it subjective? Objective eye? Subjective eye?
Subjective is when it's different every time. Objective is like, this is the process right here. It's
right?
Objective, like a system.
So looking at your business, I guess, with an objective eye, and saying, or I guess it would be subjective, right? And what are my options? With the situation I'm in, what levers can I pull? What do I need to change? And then just start to make those changes. When you're working with us in our coaching program, one of the things that for us is wildly important is the time it takes you to make those changes. You have 24-hour access to us so that when you have a question, you can get the answer from us and you can make the change today.
Yep.
Right? It's not 12 weeks of education and then after 12 weeks you go, all right, cool, you're on your own to go make those changes. We want you making those changes the day you're learning those lessons. Go start writing up the new membership options that you have. Go start, putting in the required changes that you need to make to raise your price point, or like you could do all of that stuff in your business today. You don't need somebody's approval. You don't need to wait until you have more education. Go make the changes that are going to impact your business today.
That's the key. You don't need anybody's approval. That's what being the boss is. You can just make the choice, be the leader. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Hopefully that helps you guys. Again, this is quarter 4. You're in it. It's like, that's right now. So what are you going to do about it now to make the changes for the end of the year? And then maybe 2025 ends up being your all-time record high. That's what I want for you.
Hell yes.
So that's it for this episode. Until next time, guys, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye. All right. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. If you want more help growing your business, join our free Facebook group, Profit Accelerator, helping training gyms grow to $30,000 a month and beyond. We'd love to see you there. Go check out the show notes for the link and keep building something great. And we'll see you in the next episode.